What up, though, everybody? This is Kyle, and you are watching Knockouts and 3 Counts. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you don't miss any of the great content, like our interview with Justin James, fresh off his UFC win, or make sure that you're subscribed and liked everywhere so that you don't miss our interview this Tuesday, live 9 p.m. on Facebook, as we bring Kenny the Boss Cross back before his fight on Dana White's Contender Series going down August 4th on UFC Fight Pass, so don't miss it. And as you can see, I'm not alone in this screen. I am joined by our good friend Mega Ran to make some picks for Extreme Rules. How you guys doing?
Hello, I'm great, man. How you doing, Kyle?
Hey man, shit, I'm just been slinging your mail, you know, finding all the car bombs that people try to throw through the mail, you know, all that good stuff.
Well, we appreciate you, brother. We appreciate you,
man. Look, man, I'm trying to get like you. I see this background over here. I see like it's like I'm playing Super Mario right now.
Funny that I got this done in Detroit when I was out there. One of the homies who helped me out with the show showed me his video skills, and I was like, dude, I gotta hire you. And so shout out to my man Sam who hooked this up. And I'm gonna get him to do me one for wrestling stuff next. So it'll just have a bunch of wrestling events happening all around me and some cool stuff. But yeah, he's dope.
Hey, that's super dope. Well, before we get started, man, throw out your social media. Let everybody know where they can find you real quick.
Oh, well, you can find me anywhere pretty much if you type in Megaran, M-E-G-A, space R-A-N. I'm on Twitch. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Snapchat, but I don't really use it. That's for, like, the kids. I think I'm on TikTok. Yeah, I'm everywhere, man. And on Twitter /Megaran. It's going to look like Meg Ryan when you think real quick. I'm like, oh, I thought that said Meg Ryan, but no, it actually says Megaran. So yeah, man, I'm everywhere at Megaran or at Mega_Ran. Tell them to holler at me.
All right, so obviously we're not in the most normal of circumstances and all that good stuff, but you've clearly been busy. And, you know, it's funny we're talking about these things because the first match that it's showing me here on this card here for Extreme Rules Horror Show has got somebody who was a recent guest on your podcast.
Hey.
Mega Ran's Random Encounters. Tell us a little bit about that. First of all, how the hell did you come up on doing a podcast? And the person that I'm mentioning in said match, the first match we've got on this card is going to be Shinsuke Nakamura and past guest of Mega Ran's show, Cesaro, versus your tag team champions, The New Day.
Well, first of all, the podcast started because I needed something to do. I'm working on a book, and I'm almost done this book. And in the process of writing this book, I had these really cool short stories. Some of them were going to make the book, some of them weren't. And so I started recording them as, like, you know, recording audio. Like, there would be audio books, like mini little audio chapters. And then the book was so far from being done and coming out, I was like, oh, well, maybe I can make these little short stories into a podcast. So I called it Random Encounters. So for the first, like, maybe 8 or 9 episodes, it's just me talking, telling a story about my life and some lesson I've learned or something like that. Then I decided, you know what, I need to start bringing in guests. I got tired of hearing myself talk, and, you know, I wanted to get guests from every little walk of life. And that was after, you know, the coronavirus stuff, because I wanted to know how people that inspire me are getting through this time. You know, that was a main concern of mine. I wanted to see how people were making do, like creatives were staying creative, staying on top of the game. And because I needed a little motivation, you know, to get going. And then I started talking to people, all the movers and shakers, people that wrestle, people who are professional video game players, professional esports, you know, judges and referees, all types of people, man. And so that's led to some real cool talks. And that's where Random Encounters is right now. So, yeah, our newest episode with Cesaro is out now.
I'm really glad. Be in the comments to this video if you're watching on YouTube.
Nice. Yeah, man, I'm really glad to get a chance to talk to a lot of these folks. And like we were saying off mic, a lot of cats really enjoy having a moment to talk about something that's not their number one passion or that thing that everyone knows them for. You know, so more often than not, when I talk to wrestlers, it's about their love for video games or their old love for comics or their things like that. So we find some other common ground, and it's usually a thing that they don't get to talk about much in interviews. So it makes for some real interesting chats. So we got a 2-parter with Kenny Omega. I talked to Leo Rush. I talked to Tyler Breeze and a few others. So so check them out. You can get them wherever you get podcasts, and thanks for that moment to give me to kind of put that over.
You already know what it is, man. I mean, I just figured it was a good segue since you had Cesaro on the show. I mean, since you said there was the Common Connect, what was it for you with Cesaro? Was he a big video game guy? Or
It's games, man. It's really funny with most of these guys, it's video games. And like I couldn't believe like how much stuff that we had in common when it came to video games. And old school hip hop. We started talking about the Fugees and De La Soul and all kinds of stuff that I was into, and he was hearing, in Switzerland, and how the different stuff like translated and like different songs were popular there that were here. And so we found a common ground in my two favorite things pretty much was gaming and hip hop. So that was really dope.
Okay, so back to the matter of why we're really here. So now that we've talked about Cesaro a little bit, what are your thoughts on this match? And who do you got?
First of all, I hope this is not the first match. I hope it's not pre-show or whatever. They still do pre-shows with these now?
Yeah, so the way they got it set up, the way it looks like from CBS, I guess I'm technically out of order because the first match that it's got on the CBS thing says it's actually the Apollo Crews versus MVP match.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Either way, it's a championship being the first match of the show, which I'm two ways about it, of two thoughts. Like, okay, you want to start it off hot, so you do want to get in somebody who's either super over or somebody who's, who can really tear the house down and set the bar high. So either way, it would be one of those two probably starting the show off. But if you want predictions on the tag match.
Yeah. So who do you got for that one?
Bro, I think new champs, man. I think we get new champs. I'm ready. Maybe just because I'm just coming off this Cesaro interview, but
hey, you're supporting the past guests. I totally get it.
Yeah, I mean, but outside of that, the freaking New Day are like my homies. So this is a really, really tough one. But I think the New Day are solidified and absolutely super legendary. Do not need the belts for any reason. And so I think who does need the belts are two guys who are, two of the top athletes who get down and, put it all out there every night. And I think they got to take it, man. I think we're getting new tag team champs.
See, I would have no problem with that because I agree with you when it comes to the New Day. At this point, I mean, I was just watching SmackDown before we did this. They're, 9-time champs at this point, 8-time champs? I mean, they've already cemented their legacy not only, I feel like, as performers, but as a tag team at this point. I mean, for anyone to act as though they're not one of the best tag teams of, I would say, at least the last decade, and I would say a new school version of the Freebirds, I mean, that would be ludicrous for anybody to say otherwise. For me in this one, I really think the one that needs the win should be Cesaro and Nakamura. I was a big fan of Shinsuke in NXT, man, and I was loving when they did the thing with AJ. So I would love to see both of them kind of get a push. I've gotten to meet both of these guys too, man. I actually worked out with Cesaro when we were in New York, and let me tell you, for those of you who think that the moniker of him being that strong is bullshit, let me just explain something to you. This man came in with no warm-up, no stretching, no nothing, walks in the gym and starts having like a power clean competition with all of us, including Seth Rollins, who had just been through a nasty workout, and blew through it like it wasn't shit with no warm-up. The guy really is a Swiss Superman. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's not just a clever nickname. Like, this dude is a beast. And I think, at this point, he's got to be up there with Kofi as one of the most like established tag team wrestlers of all time.
Oh, he has to be.
Where he's just been with so many different people, but they've always won and they've always turned it into a really good situation. So I think the same will happen with him and Shinsuke.
The next match that we're talking about, for those of you who aren't looking at the thing that I am, like most of you, would be the U.S. title match between MVP and Apollo Crews. Okay, for me, I like seeing MVP back. I was always a fan of MVP. MVP can talk his ass off. He can either make you want to see him get his ass whooped or want to see him kick somebody's ass. So that's always something to be valued. I think if anything, they're using this match to use MVP's star power to try to help Apollo out, which I don't think hurts him at all. As far as what I think is the storyline, I mean, it's okay. I would like to see MVP kind of more focused on how he can plot to either make Lashley better or let them plant the seeds to them breaking up, but it's too early for that. So for me in this one, I think I feel like MVP is going to come real close to winning, but Apollo Crews is going to win. I think he'll outsmart him some way, but I think Apollo is going to get beat down in this one. So I'm going to go with Apollo to win, but I don't think he's walking out.
Okay, I can see that. I agree. I think Apollo has to win it. He's the new young hot champ, new belt. You can't just have it switch over, I think, so soon. I don't know. I mean, as much as I love what MVP's been doing, I think he's been great in like a managerial role and a talking role. He doesn't need to be in the ring, I think, but I think he is going to make Apollo like look really good. So he's going to work him, and I think that's what he kind of needs. He needs like a test. So that's what I think he'll get, but he'll come out of it maybe with like a squeaker, you know, like a quick roll up, or you know, pull the tights or something, and then maybe get beat down at the end of it. I could see that. But yes, I think Apollo holds on.
Okay, so we're on the same accord with that. And you know, I meant to bring this up when you were bringing up your dilemma with the New Day match.
Mm-hmm.
So I can totally relate to this because again, as we were talking about before we went live, past guest of our show, Miles Jury, man, I'll never forget when he fought against Cowboy Cerrone. It sucked because I'm a huge Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
And I was so stoked that Miles got that fight until I realized, oh fuck. Miles got that fight.
He's got to fight my boy.
And yeah. I gotta, you know, and I'm like, well, I like Cowboy and all, but I can't go against the homie though.
Can't go against the homie, man.
Like,
you gotta root for the homie. I think you always gotta keep allegiance to the homies, man.
Right, dude.
And it's weird because you know the New Day part is weird because like I'm cool with all of them, so it's like I don't know, but that's when I kind of put on my smart hat and I'm like, well, who needs it the most? And I think Shinsuke and Cesaro need it and deserve it, you know. So I think it's time.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's talk about this one. So first of all, I want to know what your thoughts are on them going there in a storyline, especially when there's not a crowd necessarily to absorb what's really going on. And in the match I'm talking about the next match on the card, which supposedly is supposed to be Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus in a bar fight.
Well, I see what they're doing. I think they're going to try to do this at least every pay-per-view or every couple is to do a off-site pre-taped match. You know,
I thought that would be the Wyatt match though.
Yeah, so maybe they'll do two.
Yeah.
But I think it's smart. Like you're in the same building for every single show. Like you got to switch it up once in a while to get the viewer into something different. And with the power of television and production and cameras and editors, you can make something really way more entertaining happen than you could with these two guys getting in the ring, you know. No disrespect to Jeff or Sheamus, two of the greatest to do it, you know, but you know, we've seen him in the ring, so why not see him do something different? So I think that's part of the plan for a lot of the future, you know, pay-per-views. And I'm not mad at it. If you get two off-site, you know, pre-taped matches per show, I'm all right with it. As long as they make it good, make it fun, make it entertaining, give us some cool little spots, some, I don't know, some Easter eggs, you know.
I guess my point was more so towards the fact that they're trying to play in the fact that Jeff clearly, as it's no secret, has had all of his issues lately with the law and drinking and all that. Like if you watch the WWE Chronicle that they just released on the network, you know, Jeff talks about that in depth about how they made him go to rehab and all that stuff. What are your thoughts on them trying to bring that up? I mean, it's nothing.
I don't like it. I hate it. I don't like it at all. I think it's extremely tasteless. That's just, you know, like
why pick at something we all know is there?
A real thing, man. That just brings back all the bad memories they were doing at the Jake
especially when he just got out of jail.
They did like it really happened. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like this is 10 years ago and he's been clean since. Like no, he's just recently had an issue. So maybe this is like I don't know. Maybe Jeff even asks for it. Like, look, put it on TV so I can confront this face to face and like, you know what I mean? Like really be embarrassed by it. You know what I'm saying? So I can really feel how this feels again and make sure I never do it. I don't know. Maybe that could work. You know, for some people, you need it in your face. You need to be embarrassed, like your nose rubbed in it or something. I don't know. He could be that kind of guy. But otherwise, I think it's completely tasteless. Like, I think about the stuff they did back in the day with Jake the Snake, the stuff they did back in the day with Hawk. You know what I mean? Like,
See, I never liked that.
and
See,
it feels nasty, man. It really
that's
it doesn't feel good. It feels really icky to play with somebody's real life issue, and it's not funny, you know. And at the same time, like, it's, I don't know. I understand you need a storyline for a guy, you know, but this isn't it. Like, I don't think you don't need anything to get me excited about Jeff Hardy. You know what I mean? He's a legend.
right. See,
So
but then
this,
I also feel myself feeling like such a hypocrite in saying that. And I only say that just from the fact that I grew up in the tail end of the 90s and the Attitude Era. So, I mean, I saw a whole hell of a lot worse than that as a kid.
yeah,
And
but
it's
you know,
like,
but remember some of the things though. At least me, I felt like too far. Okay, like
yeah.
Kane and Katie Vick, like, you
Holy
know,
God.
like I mean, they all admit like that's the worst storyline ever. You know, like that Undertaker putting people up on the symbol, like all that stuff was like, I was like, oh, this is too far. Like, okay, like no,
Yeah.
I'm not entertained anymore. Like, stop. You know, so there's
See, I
always
was
been
too young
times.
at the time to really like, I mean, I was too young at the time to really realize it, but it's one of those things where now that I've gotten older and we have the luxury of the network and I go back and watch the stuff, I'm like, damn, that's kind of fucked up. Like,
Yeah, man, they went there, dude. They were like, well, let's just do it. And I remember, you know, a lot of people saying that, like, that was Vince Russo, a lot of those guys' ways to be like, let's take a real life thing, you know, a real issue you might be having, so we can get some real emotion on the screen. And I'm like, nah, man, I don't think you should deal with stuff like about substance abuse and, you know, all that. Like, nah, because that's a real, very real thing that people have like lost their lives over. So I I don't like it, you know, but I don't know.
so
Maybe
Jeff's got to
this
be
will end it.
triumphant, right?
He has to win. Like, you can't, you know, like his demons can't beat him. You know, that's a really bad message.
So, all right. I'm going to go with Jeff Hardy in this one because, dude, after the way you've built this up, there's no way in hell he loses. Oh, my God. If he loses after all this, like that's like a double-edged sword. Like, I got to relive all this shit and I lose. Like,
And you lose. Yeah, I'll be like, okay, they must be writing him off to let him go. Like, at that point, like if he loses this match, and like, yeah, then you know they have zero plans for him.
okay, so we're talking about matches that are interesting stipulations. Well, what better of a match to go to after that than the eye for an eye match between Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins? First of all, what do you think of that? And second of all, what do you think this match is going to look like?
I don't know what this is gonna look like. I don't think anybody's gonna lose an eye, but I do think we're gonna maybe have some. Maybe that might be a pre-tape type of thing too, where they do something cool with some effects. I don't know. Um, I think we get some Dominic, of course.
I was about to ask that. Do you think this is where Dominic starts to kind of?
Yeah, I think this has got to be the time. Like, when you set it up like this, it sounds like a final thing. So this has got to be the time where Dominic's finally ready to, you know, start really going full time, or he steps in and, you know, gets his eye taken out. I don't know. I mean, if we got to pick a winner, I think Ray wins, but I think that somebody like Buddy will take the sacrifice for Seth or something, you know, and lose an eye for Seth or something like that. I don't know. He'll find a way out of it.
Okay, so you think Ray's gonna win, but you think it's gonna be some fuckery.
Yep.
I agree. I kind of am of the same ilk. I don't think there's any way that Seth is gonna win this. I personally, I respect it, but at the same time, part of me feels like this last run for Ray is kind of like to get him a last run, but I feel like this is all leading to him setting Dominic up to be ready to go pretty much. Like, at least that's kind of what it seems like to me. I don't know if it feels that way to you, but.
Oh, totally. I mean, I won't say they've been forcing Dominic down our throat, but I think that they've definitely made him such a huge part of Ray's whole comeback story that, like, he has to at some point stand on his own and become the next guy. Like, I feel like he's got to put the mask on. Like, this could be some real cool Lucha Underground type, you know, lore where they could, you know,
that route.
if they go that route, like maybe even Ray loses the eye, and it's like, you know, a big moment where he's like, "Son, you have to do it now," and he takes the mask off in the ring, you know what I mean, and says, "Put it on, son," you know, and he puts it on. We have a big moment, and then he beats up Seth. Like, I don't know, man, but it could be cool.
So
It
this
could
match,
be. I
we're
hope they
both
go
going
there.
with Rey Mysterio on this one via some fuckery.
Yes.
All right. So speaking of some fuckery, let's talk about the women's division. All right. So we've got 2 women's titles matches, but they're both kind of intertwined in this one. So you've got Sasha and Bayley, who are currently your women's tag team champions, and you've got Bayley is going to face who was it? She's got oh damn, I can't spit it out. I got it right in front of me. Give me a second. There you go. There you go.
Cross,
Bayley
right?
versus Nikki Cross. My bad. Couldn't spit it out. You got Bayley versus Nikki Cross, and then Sasha is going to go against Asuka for the Raw title. First of all, what are your thoughts on the current state of the women's division, and what are your thoughts on these 2 matches?
Man, I need to see some more women. Like, I feel like this has become a 4-woman like federation at this point, man. It's just, if it's not Asuka, Sasha, Charlotte, or Bayley, like, there's nobody else. You know, like, we're in a weird time where, like, it's simply all about them. I will say I've come around big time on Bayley. Like, they've really committed to this role model character.
I like the haircut.
The haircut, like, she's the perfect heel. I never thought she could pull it off, to be honest. And I believe it, man. I'm glad they've stuck with it. Sasha's always been kind of a tweener. Like, I feel like she hasn't fully become herself. You know what I mean? I want her to kind of turn one way, and I feel like the whole world's waiting for a turn, you know, or something between Sasha and Bayley.
But would it really be a turn, though? I feel like at this point, I feel like with the way things are set up, with Bayley being the heel champion now, the only thing I could see is maybe Bayley getting jealous of, you know, say Sasha goes in and wins this match against Asuka and takes the women's title, and then they both are double champs. Well, then Sasha gets more hype because Sasha, you know, is the new hot thing with the double champ, and it takes away from Bayley. That's the only way I could see it, because I feel like if you were to turn Sasha on Bayley, it kind of like would undo all the shit.
It's the wrong move. So Bayley has to get jealous and turn on her. But I think that would mean that Bayley would have to lose her match first, and Sasha would win.
So do you think she's going to lose to Nikki Cross? I'm sorry, but I just don't think.
Not yet. Nikki Cross isn't the one, and not at Extreme Rules. They built Bayley up as a strong champ for a long time. Too strong to lose at Extreme Rules. So
maybe SummerSlam?
SummerSlam. Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, so you're going with Bayley to keep her title, and I am going with Bayley to keep her title. What about Sasha versus Asuka?
I feel like you can't.
What, do you think that it's? Do you think that they've done a good job with the run with Asuka with the belt, or do you think that it was kind of forced because Charlotte got hurt?
Yeah, I didn't like where it started, but you know, Asuka's, to me, she's my favorite woman wrestler anyway. So I thought she's already the best, so she deserves it. You know, and honestly, she should be unbeatable. You know what I mean? Like, they've tried their best to keep her as a really strong, you know, competitor, but you know, Becky beat her. You know, like, I hate when it's always like, oh, she beat, and then they give her the title, or oh man, she didn't do it, but okay, we still respect her. You know, she's already been probably the most entertaining superstar of the freaking quarantine era. You know, between interviews, just commentary, just being hilarious. And like great on Twitter, off stage, whatever. So I think she deserves to hold on to it for a while. I do. So, and Sasha can lose, like, because she's been losing as far as long as we've known her. So, and she never loses a step. She's never less powerful, less popular. You know, she can lose. I don't think Asuka should lose, at least not right now.
Okay, so I'm with you. I think Asuka holds the belt. I feel like you and I both said, I kind of feel like the only real way they can do this to where it doesn't damage all the work they've tried to do with Bayley is Bayley's got to get pissed at Sasha.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
like maybe she tries to help her and she screws up. I don't know, or
right.
she's getting more cheers. I don't know,
or something. Or
yeah.
or I could see something to where maybe they go far enough to where Sasha does win the title, even maybe if it's at SummerSlam, and then Bayley, does some slick shit to make her lose, and then tries to play the, oh, but I was really trying to help you win.
Yeah,
then you
yeah,
start
I could
seeing
see
those
that.
seeds.
I can see that. I mean, they've teased it. Well, I don't even know if they've teased it, but this is
They've
literally
already
what we've
tried it.
wanted. Yeah, they've tried it. We've wanted a solid, Bayley Sasha feud for like 4 years now,
Ever since
and have
Brooklyn?
not. Yeah, and have not been able to get it. So I don't see why they would start it now all of a sudden. But I mean, it would make the most sense now with them winning everything.
All right, so we've got on the Raw end, you've got, it looks like it's going to be the Miz and Morrison versus the War Raiders.
Now
What
that
are
should be
your thoughts
pre-show.
on that match?
That should be pre-show. But
I agree.
But Miz and Morrison have been super entertaining. So have the War Raiders. Stuff they did with Street Profits has been great. Should be an entertaining match. Who do I got? I think Miz and Morrison. They need a win. Yeah.
I can see that too, but I agree with you on this one. I think Miz and Morrison are going to somehow pull some snake shit with this. But at the same time, I really hope that this time around in WWE that we can get a legitimate John Morrison singles run. Have either him or the Miz turn on each other, and please let them go against each other, and then give John Morrison an actual title run. I think
that would be great.
as long as he don't fuck himself over like he did when he had the Jersey Shore match. And so I'm with you on that one. All right. So I am going to, like he did, I think it's going to be Miz and Morrison on that one. Now we're to the title matches. I'm guessing they're going to run Drew versus Dolph as your main. Well, no, it can't be. I would bet that the SmackDown match is going to be the main event. So we'll go Drew and Dolph first. What are your thoughts on this feud, and who do you got in the match? Because I feel like if we weren't in COVID times, this would be great. I feel like Drew's title run would have been so much better if there was a crowd.
Yeah, I feel like he's really losing out. I feel like even from Mania, I was just like, man, I wish there could be people here for this. Like a guy who's come so far back, like the greatest probably comeback story in wrestling, and there's no one there to cheer it on, And I hate to say it, like when history looks back on this time, they might blame it on him. Like, oh well, look at the ratings, or look at what's happening, and and it's not him. It's literally the world falling apart around him. So I think he's been holding it down. This is WWE paint by numbers here. It's like, all right, give him Dolph, feed him a guy who's going to give you a A1 match and not win, but also just make your champ look strong. They did it with Kofi. They did it with so many other guys. So I'm okay with it because Dolph always puts on a great match. I feel like there's no chance he's going to win, but, it's going to be entertaining.
It'll be a good match, and that's that's like the one guarantee you have out of this match.
Yeah, that's it. It's going to be a really good one.
All right, so you're going with the champ to retain?
Oh, yeah, of course.
So, for me, I've always been a big Dolph Ziggler fan ever since he did the cash-in and won, okay? I've always thought he was underutilized. I liked the heel run. I liked all of it.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. I don't know if it's that he doesn't get over with like the younger fans now, like the kids these days. The way he does with guys like your age and my age who realize how good he is. I don't know if that's the disconnect, but I feel like he's never really kind of got that big singles run after he got the title like that, and I really would like to see it. I don't think it's going to happen in this match. In this match, I think Drew's going to win, but here's the other question. What do you think the stipulation is going to be on this one?
Oh, that's right. He gets to pick a stipulation, right?
And they haven't named it yet.
So maybe he's going to pick the referee. And it's going to be, I don't know, someone else from his past. Or Heath Slater. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of messing up a world title match. But I don't know. Maybe he pulls out somebody from his past, or makes it a handicap match and brings out Jinder or something. I don't know. Like,
so,
I don't know.
To be fair, my hypothesis on what's going to happen in this match is not totally my own. And it's ironic that you bring up that it might be somebody from his past because the person who sparked this in my head is actually somebody from your past. Bully Ray said this on Busted Open, and I didn't think about it this way, but when I listened to it, it made so much sense. Since he didn't name the stipulation and Dolph keeps getting laid out by Claymore, what if he takes the Claymore away?
Oh, he says no Claymore or automatic disqualification, loses the title.
Right.
And
when he heard that, that's some sneak shit that Dolph Ziggler would do.
Oh, okay. So then he gets tapped out from some freaking full Nelson or some crap. Like,
I mean, there could be many different ones. I mean, he's still got the Future Shock DDT and all that.
Yeah, like he still has moves. So I don't know. Like, that's not gonna make me go like, oh snap, he might lose. Like, nah. But
think if I didn't say that though, and you're just like, well, fuck, you don't know how does he win?
We don't know how he wins, but still he wins.
I think that's the moral of the story. I don't know how he wins, but he's gonna win.
But he wins. What if they come out like, oh, it's gonna be no disqualification?
It's gonna
like,
be K.
Wait,
that's
what?
gotta be
Right.
wrong part.
Right. There's something stupid like, oh, no disqualification. Like, dude, they do that at every title match. No, you know.
All right.
No time limit.
We're talking about all the different CGI stuff, and this is a match that you know is going to be full of CGI. The main event, or at least what I think will end up being the main event, it's going to be the Swamp match. At least, I don't know what creative genius that was the match you came up with. But the Swamp match between Bray Wyatt of the Wyatt family version versus Braun Strowman. What do you think about this match, and what do you think about the Swamp match?
Well, again, I really like the pre-taped off-site stuff. So if this is anywhere near as cool as the Boneyard match, then I think we're in for an entertaining time. So I'm all about it.
Like the Firefly Funhouse match.
Oh man, that's like the best WrestleMania match I've seen in years. I thought these matches have been super good, but this won't be that type of match. Supposedly, it'll be old Wyatt style. Which brings me back to, I guess they did that with the New Day, right? They had that, they didn't call it a swamp match, but it was like at the compound or something.
Yeah, the Wyatt compound.
Yeah, so maybe it'll be similar to that, which was decent, but they didn't really, I really thought they were going to go all out and make that some Hardy style stuff, but they didn't.
I feel like they might with this one, being that they're doing them as an offsite, because I got to say, they did a lot more with the Boneyard match and the Firefly Funhouse match than I really kind of expected.
I think they could do it. They've been going all out with these, and they realize now that they have that, the ability to do this stuff. I think one of the guys, I don't know his name, but one of the guys who helped to produce a lot of the Final Deletion stuff, like, works for WWE.
Jeremy Borash.
Yeah, Borash. So I know that I would hope that they're going to, make the most of his input on stuff like this.
I would hope so, and I mean, they've been laying plenty of cliffhangers with it, with the fact that Braun's alluding to the fact that, he's got to go home to finish Bray before Bray finishes him. I'm looking, out of all the matches on this card, I mean, look, I know I'm probably not telling you anything that you don't know because you're a wrestling fan just like me, but, man, this stuff hasn't always been the easiest to watch. Like, straight up.
Yeah, it's real. Right now, especially, it's still weird with the crowd stuff. On top of that, like, a lot of the action, I don't know, it just takes me out of it. Maybe it's the times that we're living into.
I think that's got a lot to do with it. I feel like it's kind of hard to really care too much about anything that's really going on. I think that kind of hurts the product, which I like this match, but man, did they put themselves in a weird spot, because think of it this way. If Bray loses again, that's not good, because now he's lost as The Fiend and as Bray Wyatt. You could say he didn't lose as The Fiend this time, but then he did lose as The Fiend last time. I think
that's why he's not The Fiend, just for that reason.
Oh, for sure. But so then if you have him lose 2 straight matches, man, that's damage. But at the same time,
Bray Wyatt has been losing since we've known about Bray Wyatt, so it's not new, but it's definitely not going to make people happy.
That's been my issue with the booking of that character since, like, Jump with it, because I feel like they made him lose too much. Like, I mean, I'm not saying he should never lose, but a character like that, to me, can't lose that much. And after the way they did that at Hell in a Cell, like, you're telling me this guy's supposed to be the killer, and then he dies but raises from the dead?
Yeah, they've always. I feel like
fucking hammer.
He's been probably the most He's probably been the most like underused character in this decade of WWE because he's such a great promo. He's such a great story. He's really intriguing, but he can't win matches. And I don't know if, I have a theory that I've said a lot on my podcast. I think it's just because he's fat. And I think Vince doesn't like fat dudes. So I think at the end of the day, if he was a slimmer guy, he'd give him a little more love. But I don't know. I can't think of anything else. Like, he's so over. But like you're eventually, we keep saying that too. Like, oh, if you keep taking him make losses, man, he's not going to be good anymore. And it's like, you didn't spend all this money on this costume, this gimmick, this character for this comeback just to have him lose a bunch of matches, did you? Like, it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't really add up. I don't know.
See, I feel like another host of our show, Tony Thunder, came up with this idea when it comes to the Fiend, in that the Fiend character to him was a guy like the title never mattered. It was going back and like avenging his losses, and now that he's gotten to do that, I love the character. I just wish that they would go a little farther to keep him strong, because I don't know, man, looking at this match, I really don't see a way Braun Strowman can lose. So I guess if I'm making a pick on this one, I think Braun Strowman wins this title, even though no disrespect to Braun, and I'm glad that he's finally getting a shot. I think it's long overdue, but I don't want to keep seeing Bray Wyatt losing, damn it.
Yeah.
Like, shit. Like, I mean, I'm okay with you losing here and there. You don't need to win every match. I'm aware it's pro wrestling, but damn.
Yeah, like, you got to give him something. Give him a bone. But I think, I kind of think I agree with Tony. Is that, like, his character is not about winning titles. It's about avenging those losses. It's about making you revisit your past, making you uncomfortable, making you scared, So he's never really cared about winning, per se. It's just about damaging you, And I thought that was maybe what they were trying to say, where it's like, it's not about winning. It's just that after you beat him, you're never the same, And I don't know, like, it just turns you evil or turns you back to an older form of yourself. I don't know. I thought that was maybe what was happening.
That's kind of what I thought. And it goes right along with Tony's point. Like, he's kind of like going through his past and things like that. So, I mean, I like it. I mean, since we're on a prediction, I think Braun's keeping the title, but I really feel like WWE kind of painted themselves into a corner with this one, because if Braun loses, he doesn't get to stay strong as a champion. If Bray loses, it's another loss for Bray Wyatt. I don't really think that there's a really win-win out of this one. Who knows? We still got to see what they're going to do. I think this is definitely going to be one of those pre-tape matches. But if I'm picking, I think the title's going to stay with Braun on this one.
Yeah, I agree. So that means what? We predict one title change this show? Or is that what we said?
Yeah, the only one we said would change was
the tag titles.
Your show, Cesaro.
I think, that's about what I think. Yeah. The rest of them will be good matches. I think we'll get good matches on paper with a lot of these, and then these off-site ones will be very entertaining. But yeah, I don't think we'll get a whole lot of title changes.
Well, now you hear what we thought. We only think there's going to be one title change. Let us know in the comments who you think's going to win. Tweet him at Megaran. Let him know who you think's going to win. Tweet us at KL3CPod, or me personally at Detroit Knockout, Detroit NOKOUT. Throw them bitches. I ain't scared. Fuck you, Twitter hard bodies over here. But thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you guys check us out Tuesday live, 9 p.m. Eastern, as we bring you Kenny the Boss Cross ahead of his fight for Dana White's Contender Series. And shout out to our friend Mega Ran. Make sure you check out his podcast, Mega Ran's Random Encounters. Kenny Omega, Cesaro. What more do I need to tell you? It's got Mega Ran on it too. Make sure you check them out. Brother, man, we appreciate your time, man. It's always a good time. And when you come back to the D, man, you know where to find me.
Absolutely. We got to hang. Appreciate you, bro.
Hey, appreciate you as well, fam.
All right. Take care.